A human hand slams against the metal shutter. Then another. Then 20 more. The barricade bends inward. Bolts begin pulling free from the wall. A child starts crying somewhere behind you. Nobody tells him to be quiet. Everybody is too busy listening. Outside, hundreds of figures stand in the darkness. Motionless. Waiting. Hours ago, those figures were neighbors. Co-workers. Friends. Now they only want one thing. The elderly man beside you grips a crowbar so tightly his knuckles turn white. A teacher loads supplies into a backpack. Someone quietly prays. Someone else quietly sobs. Then the banging suddenly stops. No scratching. No growling. No movement. Just silence. And somehow the silence feels worse. Much worse. Because nobody knows why the dead have gone quiet. Someone beside you whispers a sentence you will never forget. They're learning where we are. The room falls silent. The metal shutters tremble once. Then again. 12 hours earlier, you were making coffee before work. You had no idea this would become the last normal day of your life. Level 1. The normal morning. Your alarm rings at 6:30 a.m. Sunlight slips through the curtains. The coffee machine hums in the kitchen. Your phone vibrates with overnight messages. A friend sends a joke. Your mother reminds you to call later. Everything feels ordinary. Years later, survivors will remember this morning differently. Because this was the last normal morning anyone would ever have. You scroll through headlines while eating breakfast. Politics. Sports. Celebrity scandals. Nothing unusual. Nothing that suggests civilization is only hours away from collapse. Then every device in the apartment suddenly screams. Your phone. Your television. A tablet charging nearby. Even the radio in a parked car outside. The same alert appears everywhere. Emergency health warning. Stay indoors. Await further instructions. No explanation follows. No details. No source. Just an alert. Then silence. You stare at the screen. A moment later, the message disappears. Life resumes. People continue walking outside. Traffic continues moving. The city keeps breathing. At work, everyone laughs about it. Someone calls it a government mistake. Another person claims hackers are responsible. Most people ignore it completely. Then the alert appears again. And again. And again. Each time sounding more urgent. Each time revealing less information. For the first time, people stop laughing. A co-worker turns on a news channel. The anchor is speaking rapidly. An image flashes behind her. Emergency vehicles. Crowds. Police tape. Then she suddenly pauses. Touches her earpiece. Her expression changes. The color drains from her face. The broadcast immediately cuts to commercial. You never see her again. Nobody knows it yet. But something has already gone terribly wrong. Then your phone vibrates. A message from your friend. Only 6 words. Something weird is happening downtown. 5 minutes later, he stops responding. And the phone begins ringing. Level 2. Something is wrong. The call is from your mother. The connection crackles. Sirens scream somewhere behind her. People are shouting. Car horns blare continuously. You ask what happened. She doesn't know. Nobody does. Rumors spread faster than facts. A new virus. A terrorist attack. Mass hysteria. A chemical leak. Every person seems to have a different explanation. None of them fit. By lunchtime, businesses begin closing. Schools release students early. Gas stations overflow. Supermarket shelves empty at impossible speed. People are preparing for something. They just don't know what. Driving home feels different. The city moves with nervous energy. Like an animal sensing danger before a storm arrives. The radio suddenly cuts through the static. A trembling voice speaks. Citizens should avoid hospitals. Static. Multiple violent incidents. Static. Do not approach infected individuals. The signal dies. You grip the steering wheel tighter. At a red light, a crowd gathers outside a pharmacy. People shove each other. Arguments erupt. A man collapses onto the sidewalk. Nobody moves to help. Everybody backs away. Then he slowly stands again. The movement looks wrong. Unnatural. Like a puppet struggling against invisible strings. The traffic light turns green. You drive away. But the image refuses to leave your mind. Then a video arrives on your phone. The footage is only 11 seconds long. But it changes everything. Level 3. The impossible. The recording shakes violently. People are screaming. Someone lies motionless on the pavement. The crowd surrounds the body. Then the body suddenly sits upright. The crowd explodes into panic. The camera falls. The video ends. You replay it. Again. Again. Again, your mind searches desperately for another explanation. A prank, special effects, anything. Then you reach your neighborhood. People stand outside their homes, watching, waiting, confused. An ambulance sits abandoned in the street. Its rear doors remain open. Nobody is inside. A police officer yells into a radio. Only static answers back. Then a scream erupts nearby. Everyone turns. A familiar face staggers around the corner. Your neighbor, someone you've known for years. His clothes are covered in blood. A woman rushes toward him, relieved he survived, calling his name. The moment she reaches him, he attacks. The crowd freezes. Not because they're brave, because their brains cannot process what they're seeing. You don't run immediately. Most people imagine they would. The reality is different. Your mind desperately tries to explain the impossible. That hesitation nearly gets you killed. The woman falls. More screams follow. Doors slam shut. People scatter. You sprint toward your house. Behind you, chaos erupts. And for the first time all day, the truth becomes unavoidable. The dead are walking. Then somebody starts pounding on your front door. Level 4, the roads are full. You throw the door open. Your friend stumbles inside. Sweating, bleeding, terrified. Downtown is gone. Police lines collapsed. Hospitals overwhelmed. Entire intersections swallowed by panic. You don't waste time. Bottled water, flashlights, medicine, food, anything useful. Outside, sirens never stop. The city sounds like one endless emergency. The goal becomes simple. Reach your mother. Get out. Survive. You climb into the car. The highway entrance appears ahead. Then reality hits. Thousands of vehicles stretch toward the horizon. Nothing moves. Every lane is blocked. Every exit is crowded. Then a chilling realization settles in. This traffic isn't escaping the outbreak. It's carrying the outbreak everywhere. Drivers abandon vehicles. Families drag suitcases down the road. Arguments become fights. Fights become stampedes. A helicopter spirals through the sky. Moments later, it crashes behind a line of buildings. Black smoke rises above the city. The world feels smaller now. Fragile. Broken. Then gunshots echo nearby. The crowd surges. People begin running. Something moves between the abandoned vehicles. Fast. Hungry. Not human anymore. You lock the doors. Then notice your friend staring silently at his arm. You follow his gaze. And see the bite. Level 5. Who do you save? The bite is small. Barely visible beneath the torn sleeve. For a moment, neither of you says anything. The traffic crawls forward a few feet. Then stops again. Outside, the city continues unraveling. Inside the car, time seems frozen. Your friend forces a smile. The same smile you've seen at birthdays. Road trips. Late-night conversations. Normal memories from a normal life. Memories that suddenly feel ancient. People think the hardest part of a zombie apocalypse is fighting zombies. The reality is different. The hardest part is watching someone you care about slowly become a countdown. Your friend keeps talking, making jokes, pretending everything is fine. But both of you keep glancing at the same wound. Waiting, watching, measuring every second. Then your phone rings. Your mother. The call barely connects. You hear heavy breathing, shouting, glass breaking somewhere nearby. Then her voice. Please hurry. The line dies. Your friend stares through the windshield. You try restarting the engine. Try finding another route. Try finding a solution. But there isn't one. There never was. Finally, your friend reaches into his pocket. He hands you his phone. Call them later. You already know who he means. His family. The people waiting for him to come home. The people who still think everything will be okay. He opens the door. You grab his arm. He pulls away. The smile is gone now. Only acceptance remains. Then he says something survivors repeat for years afterward. Don't waste today trying to save yesterday. He steps into the sea of abandoned vehicles. The crowd swallows him. You never see him again. The empty passenger seat suddenly feels enormous. Then your phone vibrates. A new message appears. 3 words. I'm trapped here. And below it, an address. Level 6, temporary shelter. The address is across the city. A city that no longer belongs to the living. Darkness arrives faster than expected. Roadblocks appear everywhere. Fires burn across the skyline. Every route toward your mother becomes impossible. You keep driving anyway, until the road ends. Not with a barricade, not with traffic, but with a crowd. Hundreds of infected flooding an intersection ahead. You turn around immediately. A hardware store appears 2 blocks away. The metal shutters are closed. A flashlight beam sweeps across your windshield. Someone unlocks a side entrance. You rush inside. The door slams shut behind you. For the first time all day, you are safe. At least that's what everyone tells themselves. Inside, survivors gather beneath dim emergency lights. An elderly man grips a crowbar. A teacher organizes supplies. A teenager watches the windows without blinking. A young child sleeps beside a stack of bottled water. Nobody introduces themselves. Nobody asks personal questions. Trust disappeared hours ago. People imagine survivors immediately unite during disasters. Reality is far less comforting. Everyone becomes a potential threat. Every stranger becomes a risk. Every hidden secret becomes dangerous. Outside, distant screams drift through the darkness. Inside, whispers spread. Military evacuations. Safe zones. Quarantine camps. Rumors travel faster than truth. Then someone notices a bite. A small bite. Hidden beneath a jacket sleeve. The room instantly changes. The survivor backs away. Claims it happened hours ago. Claims nothing is wrong. Nobody believes him. Fear spreads faster than any infection. Arguments erupt. People shout. People accuse. People panic. Then the survivor begins trembling. The generator flickers. The lights die. Darkness consumes the room. And something crashes violently against the shutter. Level 7, the betrayal. The generator flickers back to life. Dim light washes across exhausted faces. Nobody has slept. Nobody feels safe. The hardware store smells like sweat, dust, and fear. People sit against shelves. Watching. Waiting. Listening. The bitten survivor remains locked inside a storage room. Every few minutes, something strikes the door from the other side. Nobody volunteers to check. Hours pass. The building grows quieter. Too quiet. Then you notice something strange. One of the survivors is gone. The teenager who spent the evening watching the windows. His backpack is missing. His flashlight is gone. So is the emergency exit key. A cold feeling settles into your stomach. You move toward the rear hallway. The farther you walk, the quieter the building becomes. Then you hear it. Metal scraping. A lock turning. You round the corner. The emergency exit hangs partially open. Moonlight spills across the floor. The teenager stands frozen beside the door. Tears stream down his face. Outside, a woman stands beyond the fence. His mother. At least what used to be his mother. The teenager whispers her name. Takes one step forward. Then another. People imagine survivors always make rational decisions. Reality is different. Love survives long after logic dies. You shout for him to stop. He hesitates. For 1 second, you think he understands. Then the figure outside lunges. The gate bursts open. The teenager disappears beneath a wave of grasping hands. The infected pour through the gap. Screams erupt throughout the shelter. Shelves collapse. Glass shatters. People scatter in every direction. The safe house is gone. The illusion of safety dies with it. You grab a crowbar. Fight your way toward the front of the store. The elderly man who guarded the entrance all night shoves a barricade into place. The teacher drags the child toward a loading dock. Chaos consumes everything. Then the emergency exit slams shut again. But the damage is already done. Several survivors are missing. Several more are bleeding. And everyone knows the same thing. The infected didn't break in. Someone let them in. Then another crash shakes the building. This time from the front entrance. And the entire shelter falls silent. Level 8, the first night. The impact shakes the building. Then another follows. Then another. Metal groans under pressure. Dust falls from the ceiling. The generator sputters back to life. Dim light returns. Faces look different now. Harder. Older. The teacher grips a hammer. The elderly man stands beside the barricade. Even the child has stopped crying. Another crash echoes outside. The shutter bends inward. A bolt snaps free. People rush to reinforce the entrance. The infected survivor collapses onto the floor. Convulsing. Everyone backs away. Nobody wants to be closest. Nobody wants to make the decision. Then the banging suddenly stops. No scratching. No growling. No movement. Just silence. And somehow the silence feels worse. Much worse. Because nobody knows why the dead have gone quiet. The room becomes still. Every eye turns toward the shutter. Waiting. Listening. Then a whisper breaks the silence. A single sentence. One you will never forget. They're learning where we are. Nobody laughs. Because deep down, everyone is thinking the same thing. What if that's true? A shadow moves beneath the shutter. then another, then another. Hundreds of feet shifting outside. Waiting, watching. The world that existed this morning is gone. Appointments, paychecks, meetings, deadlines, all erased in a single day. The only thing that matters now is survival. You check your phone one last time. One battery bar remains. One unread message waits. Your mother. No explanation. No update. Only the address. You stare at it. The location sits on the opposite side of the city. The same city now crawling with the dead. Morning feels like another lifetime. The person who woke up at 6:30 a.m. no longer exists. That version of you believed tomorrow was guaranteed. This version knows better. Outside, the dead continue gathering. Inside, survivors prepare for dawn. You tighten your grip on a rusted crowbar. The hardware store trembles again. And for the first time all day, you stop wondering whether the world can be saved. Now you're only wondering whether you'll survive long enough to reach your mother. Day 1 is ending. The apocalypse is only beginning. And when the sun rises, you'll have to cross a city ruled by the dead. Whether you're ready or not,